Okay, dude. You hit me first.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're taking a look at the actors most famous for playing the Caped Crusader and where their careers went from there. We won't be including Robert Pattinson as he's played the role too recently.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Adam West, Batman.
The real crime.
Precisely, Inspector Bash. The Riddler contrives his plots like artichokes. You have to strip off spiny leaves to reach the heart.
Adam West wasn't the first actor to don the Batman cowl, but he was the first to make a long-term impact. On the delightfully campy series from the 1960s, West didn't mug for the camera. Instead, he played both Bruce Wayne and Batman as rather reserved. This made the show's absurd comedy all the funnier. After the show ended, West had trouble shaking the association with Batman. He reprised the character in both live action and animated form. He also played the Gary Ghost in Batman the Animated Series. While he's most famous for Batman, he had plenty of memorable appearances in other media.
And how come Batman doesn't dance anymore? Remember the Bat-2-C? Yo, hey, yeah.
Millennials might know him best as the unhinged mayor on Family Guy.
I guess I told him, nobody messes with Adam Wee.
In 2017, West passed away at the age of 88. Michael Keaton, Batman and Batman Returns.
What are you? I'm Batman.
When Michael Keaton was announced as the new Batman in Tim Burton's blockbuster, people were confused and dismayed. Though we know now Keaton to be an accomplished dramatic actor, back then he was mostly known for comedy.
It's showtime.
But Batman was a massive hit, and Keaton proved his chops. After starring in the sequel, Keaton departed the franchise, following Burton's exit. He stayed busy post-Batman, starring in films like Multiplicity and Jackie Brown. Though the 2000s were fairly quiet for Keaton, he came back in a big way in 2014 with his Oscar-nominated turn in Birdman.
But I wasn't even present in my own life, and now I don't have it, and I'm never gonna have it.
Since then, Keaton has further shown his range, playing the villainous Vulture in Spider-Man Homecoming, and starring in dramas like Spotlight. Oh, and he reprised his most famous role in the big screen Flash movie.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Val Kilmer, Batman Forever.
Let's just say I could write a hell of a paper on a grown man who dresses like a flying rodent.
Bats aren't rodents, Dr. Meridian.
After the dark and unsettling Batman Returns was met with a fairly polarized response, Warner Brothers decided to go back to the drawing board. They hired Joe Schumacher to direct, and Val Kilmer was cast in his place.
He killed him. Two-Face. He slaughtered that boy's parents.
While Kilmer's portrayal had its admirers, it wasn't enough to save the movie from feeling more like a cartoon than a superhero epic. He was also upstaged by the hammy villain turns from Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. Kilmer ultimately chose not to continue on as Batman. He had well-received turns in films like The Prince of Egypt and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Look up idiot in the dictionary. You know what you'll find?
Picture me?
No! The definition of the word idiot, which you f***ing are.
He also had a touching return as Iceman in Top Gun Maverick, which mirrored his real-life battle with throat cancer.
Who's the better pilot? You or me?
This is a nice moment. Let's not ruin it.
George Clooney, Batman and Robin.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
In theory, George Clooney with his square jaw and deep voice was the ideal choice to play Batman following Kilmer's departure. But Joe Schumacher's follow-up was so over the top and ridiculous, no portrayal could save it.
Hey, freeze.
The heat is on.
It was such a misfire, it essentially put the series on hiatus for nearly a decade. But Clooney quickly rebounded, establishing himself as a true leading man in Out of Sight and Three Kings. His streak only continued in the 2000s, starring in the Ocean films and earning accolades for films like Michael Keaton and Syriana, which he won an Oscar for.
Why am I being investigated? Why am I being investigated, Fred?
Clooney has also made his mark as a director. Oh, and he reprises his role as Bruce Wayne in The Flash in a memorable cameo.
You're not Batman? What's wrong with you?
Christian Bale, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises.
What gives you the right? What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Even 8 years after Batman and Robin, there was doubt as to whether Batman had a future in movies. But hope was found in the form of Christopher Nolan, who gave the material the serious treatment it deserved.
I never went to the drop-off point. It was in the Narrows. Cops only go there when they're in force.
Do I look like a cop?
Crucial to the success of his trilogy is Christian Bale, who had grown up from promising child star to one of the most compelling actors of his generation. Bulking up to play Batman, Bale gave us a hero who truly felt torture. After wrapping things up with The Dark Knight Rises, Bale continued to demonstrate his amazing range with Oscar-nominated turns in American Hustle, The Big Short, and Vice.
Maybe I can handle some of the more mundane jobs, overseeing bureaucracy, managing military, energy, foreign policy.
He also showed he could play a supervillain when he portrayed Gore the God Butcherer in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Just as the sword empowered me, the hammer empowered you, but it did nothing to change your fate.
Ben Affleck, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Justice League.
Tell me. Do you bleed?
Ben Affleck is arguably the Batman actor who was most famous prior to playing the Caped Crusader. And when his casting was announced in the eagerly anticipated face-off between Batman and Superman, there was a good deal of skepticism. But when Zack Snyder's film overall got a negative reception, Affleck's portrayal of an older, jaded Batman was praised.
They taught me the world only makes sense if you force it to.
After Justice League and a brief role in The Flash, Affleck appears to have said goodbye to Batman for good.
Well done, Mr. Wayne.
Will you be home for breakfast, sir?
Yes, I think so.
Recent highlights from his filmography include medieval drama The Last Duel and sneaker story Air, which he also directed.
Don't confuse desperation with visions.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Kevin Conroy, Various.
Gotham police declare war on Batman.
I gather you've been reading How to Make Friends and Influence People.
Somebody's setting me up.
We've mostly stuck to live-action portrayals for this list, but real comic fans know that no Batman list is complete without Kevin Conroy. His vocal gravitas was just one of many reasons why Batman the Animated Series was a cut above the average superhero cartoon.
Clean up your act, Joker.
And Conroy voiced the Caped Crusaders in multiple other series and movies. A closeted gay man for much of his life, Conroy understood how to play someone trying to reconcile both a private and public persona.
I've put out a few fires, yes. Won a few battles. But the war goes on, Alfred. On and on.
Conroy's unmistakable voice can be heard in Batman media from the 90s through the end of the 2010s. He sadly passed away in 2022 at the age of 66, following a private battle with intestinal cancer.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Who's your all-time favorite Batman? Let us know in the comments down below.
Gonna have to go into double secret super vigilante mode.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.